Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome. Great to have you with us. Jam-packed show again today. And in fact, we also have Hilary Kennedy that will be here. She will be here at next hour to talk about UFC and other things that are going on in the world. So we got that going for us. Nancy Pelosi is going to Taiwan. How about that? I thought it was certainly off yesterday when she suddenly went and dropped any reference to Taiwan from the schedule. And but apparently she is in fact headed for Taiwan sometime then, either today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's later today. British MPs are saying that, okay, now we're going to Taiwan too. So,
really?
Kind of open the floodgates there.
Okay.
I don't know. There's some connection here to the chips thing getting passed. I can't quite figure it out because, Taiwan was our big supplier.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's something there with the stock money. And I don't know. I think she may be just hand-delivering a thank you note on behalf of her and Paul. But yeah, she's apparently going there now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
China has warned its military would never sit idly by if she visited the self-ruled island claimed by Beijing. Pelosi started the trip Monday in Singapore, was due to spend Tuesday night in Taiwan. So tonight, yes, in Taiwan.
Yeah, and then I guess breaking news just now, two of China's largest warships have left their home ports.
Headed for Taiwan?
I don't know. They're just...
Oh, geez.
Maybe they're just... Maybe they're just turning around.
If that triggers a war, just because we sent, our Speaker of the House to Taiwan, I mean, come on now.
I know.
Come on. But you can't let them dictate to us. Mm-hmm. So I think it's the right thing to do. I really do. I think they did the right thing. Do you know that they actually, who was it that said that we don't support Taiwan independence?
Oh, we've got that clip here today, as a matter of fact. John Kirby from the Pentagon. Yeah, check this out.
Yeah.
We got that.
Repeatedly said that we oppose any unilateral changes to the status quo from either side.
Okay.
We have said that we do not support Taiwan independence.
What?
And we have said that we expect cross-strait differences to be resolved by peaceful means.
Ta-da, there it is, see?
We don't support Taiwan independence?
Full stop.
What did I think we did? Wow. I thought we had a pact with them as well, that if they're attacked, we help. Right? That seems like supporting Taiwan's independence.
Well, I mean, do you expect Marxists to support freedom anywhere?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. But that's amazing. It is consistent with the one China policy, though. If you just support one China policy, obviously that doesn't support Taiwan's independence. That is incredible, though. What? It's outrageous. The communist Chinese I guess they pretty well dictate a lot of what we do. That's what happens, I guess, when they own $1 trillion or $2 trillion worth of your debt, and they're holding that over you at all times. That can be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that wasn't the only video we got from the Pentagon yesterday as it relates to Nancy Pelosi's visit over there to Taiwan. Some reporter was asking him about all this drama surrounding what's happening. Watch this.
Why did the president bother with this drama from the beginning? I mean, why not, rather than saying the military doesn't think it's a good idea to go, why not call the Chinese bluff or tell them to pound sand when they started bellyaching about the possibility of this trip? Given, as you pointed out, there's no change in policy and there's precedent for Pelosi to visit Taiwan.
So what's the drama?
What's the drama?
Have you watched the previous last couple of weeks? I mean, there's been this question of...
Yeah, I've been here the last couple of weeks. I haven't seen any drama. I think...
You haven't seen any drama?
Look, we have been nothing but clear.
I can't take it.
You've been nothing but clear.
With the Chinese about where we stand on the issues and the one China policy and our support for a free and open Indo-Pacific. Look, I want to go back to what I said at the beginning, because
go back,
and I hope you took note.
Ooh.
Nothing has changed. There's no drama to talk to.
There's no drama to talk to. You've got a nuclear power who hates us, telling us that
they're
we
going to
can't
attack,
send,
essentially.
Right, that we're going to deploy our military and don't send, your number 3 in command over here. That sounds like drama to me.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I mean, we are
They're the worst.
They are an administration full of little Sololinskis, man. Talk down to me some more.
Yeah.
Oh, just belittle everybody that dares
They sure
to
do.
ask
That's
a
exactly
question.
what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Every day they apply the Sololinsky 13 rules. Every single day. They know them, they love them, and they employ them all the time. Also, speaking of, foreign policy and military action, we just killed al-Zawahiri in Afghanistan.
Good-looking man, too.
Good-looking man.
That beard. Ooh.
Yeah. You like that beard?
Man, I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Well, they all have some great beards,
Yeah.
don't they? Ayman al-Zawahiri, dead. We lost him. We lost him. Which is great. I mean, so we got Osama bin Laden, 11 years ago, and then now al-Zawahiri. So the top 2 guys in al-Qaeda gone.
If you're listening and you haven't seen a picture of him, he's the guy that, remember after 9/11 we had the same footage on just rolling over and over again. He's the bearded guy who was always sitting right next to bin Laden in the cave, and they were just laughing about the Twin Towers. It only took them 21 years, but we got there.
We got there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. It took some time, but we got there. So
why wasn't he back in Afghanistan?
I don't know. Supposedly al-Qaeda was cleared out. They were gone from Afghanistan. That's what we heard last year about this time when we started the Afghanistan pullout. And that's what Joe Biden said at the time, that al-Qaeda was gone, not in Afghanistan. Well, there's your leader right there in Afghanistan.
Yeah, he was in Pakistan. This drone strike.
Al-Zawahiri?
Yeah, that was in Pakistan.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. That's what
You're
I was trying
positive.
to figure out, why he wasn't back in Afghanistan.
Well, because that's why they're making a big deal out of the fact that Biden said that they were cleared out. Well, if they were cleared out...
No, you're right. Yeah,
he was killed
Kabul.
in Afghanistan.
In Kabul.
Yeah. On a balcony in Kabul.
Well, my apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first
I'm
thing
sorry,
I've done
I can't accept it.
What
All you have to do is look at the map.
I can't accept.
Nice job, Corby.
So, yeah, how did they get back into Afghanistan? Why were they in Afghanistan? They probably never left Afghanistan. And then we had this apparently actionable intel that he's at home and the rest of the family is somewhere else in the house. And so they fired this heat-seeking missile at him.
I thought we had
while he's out on the balcony.
normalized relations with Afghanistan now. We shouldn't be taking out their leaders like that. I mean, that's the Biden administration trying to have it both ways, right?
I guess so.
You're attacking a leader inside their country that you've normalized relations with.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And they were a mature leadership. This was not your father's Taliban. This is a mature Taliban that they can work with and that they can trust.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So things are awful in Afghanistan.
Oh,
I mean, the citizens there are just in dire straits. 9 million people starving. They don't have basic necessities. They don't have, in many cases, power. Winter is on the way, and in Afghanistan, it can get pretty nasty, and they don't have, heat. So it's pretty rough for the majority of people in Afghanistan. Why? Because of the Taliban, the mature, wonderful, trustworthy Taliban that moved in and took over. But we did kill al-Zawahiri, so we got that going for us.
So who's in charge now? Do we know? We probably won't find
Of
out
al-Qaeda?
for a little while.
I have not heard yet. It's interesting, though, that it never seems to be Well, I guess Osama bin Laden was a SEAL strike. But it's usually one of these, drone kills.
Yeah.
And so do we not send Navy SEALs or Delta Force in to kill people anymore? Is that just a thing that we see on TV?
You don't really need to risk it, right?
Yeah, I guess not. But that seems amazing that you can use a missile like that, take somebody out in the house without killing anybody else in the house. That's a pinpoint strike.
It didn't work out when we
and that's the thing.
Family.
And that's what they said at the beginning, too, was, wow, we took out the terrorists, and there was no collateral damage. And then it turned out to be, well, okay, we didn't get any terrorists, but we got all collateral damage. Took out a family. So, dang it. Yeah, I hope we don't find that with this particular situation. But hopefully we're a little bit better at these kinds of strikes than we were at the beginning of the Biden administration, because he did not know what he was doing.
So if Afghanistan takes umbrage to this, let's not forget the kind of military weaponry we left behind.
Yeah, the $80 billion worth of weapons. Think about that. That's equal to or greater than everything we've sent to Ukraine so far. Amazing. Would you have rather left it for the Taliban or, I don't know, rounded it up and sent it to Ukraine? I think I would have rather had the latter. Maybe that's just me, though. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So now we have to just watch for whatever kind of response there's going to be from China, because Pelosi's going to Taiwan. But you did say that there's two
I just saw
aircraft carriers, did you say?
Breaking thing here. I'll have to go back and find it here. Well, it didn't say where they were
home base?
headed. It just said they left their home port. Let me...
Interesting.
The exact wording here. It's going to take me a moment.
Could there be a battle at sea with the Chinese? That would be interesting.
So here it is from Global Times. Both aircraft carriers of the Chinese People's
aircraft carriers.
PLA Navy have reportedly moved from their home ports, respectively, amid U.S. House Speaker Pelosi's possible visit to Taiwan. It just says they're just on a voyage right now. They're probably just chilling.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
You're probably right.
And I did also hear, in addition to this, that there's just been increased activity in the Straits of Taiwan. So neat.
Yeah. Nothing's tense or unfriendly at all with our relations because Joe Biden has said he was going to solidify our relations with our allies, smooth over everything, make our enemies respect us, and our friends love us again. And man, has he done that or what?
Yeah.
Wow. Everybody loves us now.
And we've gone through the list so many times here.
So many times.
Of all the allies that he's...
including Great Britain, who has been pissed off a few times at us. France. I mean, our good friends.
Oldest ally, yeah. I mean, it goes on and on. Though, with all this activity around Pelosi, it almost makes that warning from the United Nations head guy about how we are on the brink. I mean, he's absolutely right.
Of nuclear disaster.
You want to see this little...
Just one bad decision away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Watch this here.
The clouds that parted following the end of the Cold War are gathering once more. We have been extraordinarily lucky so far, but luck is not a strategy, nor is it a shield from geopolitical tensions boiling over into nuclear conflict. Today, humanity is just one misunderstanding, one miscalculation away from nuclear annihilation.
Yeah. Well, he's right about that. We're kind of on the brink.
I mean, he should probably learn how to pronounce annihilation. But beyond that, he's accurate. Yeah.
Let me tell you about the fact that preborn still has a lot of work to do. We can finally celebrate, of course, that Roe versus Wade has been overturned. I mean, we're all really happy about that. Roe v. Wade was responsible for the slaughter of over 63 million babies. But now the decision to abort a child will be left in the hands of the states, and those states will probably do more abortions than they've ever done. Over the past 16 years, preborn has positioned their clinics in the top abortion cities where 50% of abortions take place. I mean, strategically, Planned Parenthood put their centers in minority areas where they could take the most lives.
Yeah, you couldn't be more obvious in your intent than the way Planned Parenthood's business model is.
Nope. They're going with the charter that their founder, Margaret Sanger, put forth for them. And they're doing it. I mean, it's working. So preborn is the biggest competition for Planned Parenthood. And their response really entirely depends upon you, the pro-life community. Your help is needed now more than ever. So if you would consider a gift of any size, $5, $10, $50, $100, or $1,000, whatever you can afford, all gifts are tax deductible and will go towards saving babies' lives and helping keep preborn centers safe so they can continue their life-saving work. To donate, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
All right, we got the UN guys saying the nuclear war could happen at any time. Just one bad mistake and we're in it. But Google's former head says AI is as dangerous as nuclear weapons.
Oh, neat.
Isn't that fun?
That's the word.
Oh, it's Eric Schmidt, too. Mm-hmm. We've had him in studio before. And he had some really nice things to say about Glenn, actually, at the time. I've always had kind of a soft spot in my heart for Eric Schmidt.
Yeah, he's like the exception, right? Of someone who came in here and we were like, I don't know, and hasn't gone back and said, yeah, that Glenn Beck sucks.
Right. Never, to my knowledge, he's never done that. Speaking at the Aspen Security Forum earlier this week, Eric Schmidt said that he was naive about the impact of what we're doing, but that information is incredibly powerful and government and other institutions should put more pressure on tech to put these things consistent with our values. It's kind of interesting because he did not feel this way, it seems to me, years ago when we talked to him. He was more like, in fact, Glenn asked him about AI, and I might be getting him confused, though, with their head of the creative design. What's his face? But at the time, Google was not really concerned about anything bad happening. They're like, well, our whole theory and our whole theme, our motto for a company is don't be evil. So we just won't be. Okay. All right, well, good. Then that'll be great. But he said the leverage that tech has is very, very real. If you think about it, how will we negotiate an AI agreement? First, you have to have technologists that understand what's going to happen, and then you have awareness on the other side. Let's say we want to have a chat with China on some kind of treaty around AI surprises.
Or your Speaker of the House wants to go on vacation.
Yeah. Very reasonable. How would we do it? Who in the U.S. government would work with us? And it's even worse on the Chinese side. Who do we call? We're not ready for the negotiations we need. Yeah, you don't even think about that aspect of it. In the 50s and 60s, we eventually worked out a world where there was a no-surprise rule about nuclear tests, and eventually they were banned. It's an example of a balance of trust.
Right.
Or lack of trust. It's a no-surprise rule.
Yeah.
The capabilities of artificial intelligence have been stated and overstated numerous times over the years. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk has often said that AI is highly likely to be a threat to humans.
Right. Okay, so I have an update for you because you were openly, questioning your memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is 2022, obviously, and Eric Schmidt is saying this. I found this article from 2018 where Elon Musk is saying almost the same thing.
Yeah.
There's vastly more risk than North Korea when it comes to AI. And he just talks about the competition for AI superiority at national level most likely cause a World War III. It's a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization. So Eric Schmidt said Elon Musk is wrong about AI.
Right. Okay. That's
he
what
said.
I thought.
Here's the quotes from
He's
Eric
changed.
Schmidt in 2018.
All right.
So I think that Elon is exactly wrong. So my position is clear. He He's wrong because he doesn't understand the benefits that this technology will provide to making every human being smarter. And the fact of the matter is that AI and machine learning are so fundamentally good for humanity.
Wow.
4 years later, he's changed his tune 180 degrees.
Now it's the same threat as nuclear weapons?
Yeah, he is now.
Hello?
He's now the same opinion that Musk was 4 years ago.
Wow. Well, AI, it seems to me, is one of the reasons Elon cites for wanting to go to Mars. Not just the environment, but he also thinks AI is going to become such a danger to humanity that we're going to have to leave.
You know what? You guys clean up the lakes and rivers. I don't care anymore. It's your problem, AI.
It's incredible. Speaking of Elon, did you see that article about his dad?
Which one? About how he likes to populate the planet?
No, but...
Oh, no? It's not that one?
He populated the planet to the tune of, what, 10 kids, I think? I think he's got 10 or 11 now. He just had one with his stepdaughter.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, he just had another one. But he claims he's not proud of Elon. Wait, what? Okay, that's bizarre. He's 76. His name is Errol Musk. And he claimed he isn't proud of his billionaire offspring, as he says all the members of the Musk clan have done interesting things. Really? Created the most profitable automobile company in America? Okay, have they done things like that? Created a space agency.
They just didn't want to.
Actually is going to get NASA to the moon and Mars? Huh. Okay.
Wow.
Jeez. He said, no, well, I mean, we're a family that have been doing a lot of things for a long time.
Yeah, you have. We know about you.
It's not as though we suddenly started doing something. He did concede that Tesla founder Elon has perhaps done a bit more than the rest. But
a bit more.
But he actually said, even so, his son Kimball Musk, who's a 49-year-old restaurateur with a fortune that's in the mere hundreds of millions. So he's like a pauper compared to Elon.
Right. Don't even bother showing up at the Musk family reunion.
But Kimball Musk is his pride and joy. I mean, that's uncool, no matter who your children are, to say, single one of them out and say, yeah, that's my favorite. I love him more than anybody else. Yeah. Hello? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Guy's kind of a D-bag, it seems to me.
Yeah.
But I guess that shouldn't be a surprise. He's got 10 children with, 9 wives or something? Or 9 women. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he married any of them, frankly, but it's an interesting family, quite honestly. Very interesting. So AI, a bit tricky. Check out this meme.
Oh, yeah, the robot. So you can't trust the AI.
No.
You can't trust them. I mean, you got this robot. You check the little box. It says...
I'm not a robot.
I'm not a robot. So you just check it, right? But you zoom out and you see what's really going on. Look how smart they are now. That Boston
It's a robot
Dynamics.
holding a hand to check that robot. I'm not a robot box. There you go.
See? Got to keep your eye on the robots. Yeah. But remember we had the video, I don't know, several years back of what Boston Dynamics was working on, and they had, these dogs would be dancing and stuff. Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, and they faked a lot of it.
They faked the one with the gun.
They faked a couple of things. They faked, I think, the dancing robot. Mm-hmm. They were trying to show how agile they are now, and that wasn't real.
Right.
But then they also faked the robot shooting these guns. And it's like, oh, okay, we don't have that yet.
Uh-huh.
Well, now check this out, because we do now have this. Oh, wow.
They're now armed.
Yep.
And they have good aim, apparently, too.
Oh, it's got a little kick to it.
I don't like
Push the robot back.
Uh-huh. I don't like it.
Okay, I want to see how accurate that is, though.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem like it would be accurate. Huh. Wow. Wow.
Is he hitting the thing, or?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. I love that. That's all we have to stand on. Well, he's not even hitting the target. Who cares if he's armed? Can you imagine 100 of those things marching down your neighborhood street?
No.
That would not be good.
No.
Who's going to drive over them?
And you can think of the cool military application for this. Send somebody out and clean out an area that you can't get past without.
Okay, imagine 20 years ago having that army in Afghanistan rooting out terrorists. It's a good point, Pat.
Yep.
That's the good side of AI, right?
Right.
But you could program them to do a little.
Yeah, as you said, marching down the streets of the United States, that's a different story. That's a much different story. Oh, and then it just lays down. It's ready for its bone.
Good boy.
Give it a bone now.
So, I mean, you could easily sell that, an army of gunner dogs there to the public. Say, look, you don't want your kids going to fight in Ukraine? Why don't we just send these? And then before you know it, we've got Skynet on our hands.
Yeah. We've seen enough movies to know how that works. Have we not? Enough documentaries have been made on that. Yeah. The whole Terminator documentary series. If that doesn't scare you, nothing will. So we need to keep a lid on this thing. At least keep an eye on it and make sure that it's not getting away from us. Because as soon as it gets away from us, there's just no going back.
I'm reading this article on that little dog there.
Yeah?
You can get one of those for $3,000 apparently.
What? The robot dog for $3,000? And then can you mount a gun on its back for?
Do you go to Cabela's to get the gun?
I don't know. Hey, I'm looking for a robot dog gun. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Joe Manchin was asked an important question about his support for Joe Biden's new tax and spend bill, and it just shows you how well we were all off. How well off we all were counting on him.
So what evidence do you have that this was actually do what this legislation is promising to do, which is reduce inflation?
It's pretty much common sense if you look at the common sense. But, I'm used to all the analysis going on. There's been 17 Nobel laureates who said that basically inflation would be transitory.
What?
Yeah, we're done. We're done here.
Seems like the 17 Nobel laureates were all wrong.
Yeah, it's just going to be transitory. And it's just common sense. Next common question.
Sense. It's common sense. I don't have to explain it to you. Wow, they get away with a lot. They get away with murder, these people.
Yeah,
literally. Look at the Clintons. But nobody follows up. If that was, again, a Trump official, and he said, it's common sense, they would bludgeon him to death. Oh, you can't even explain it. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the White House yesterday. They had something they released. I'm not going to be able to find it here. But basically, they just said, your tax increases you guys are complaining about, over 10 years, that's negligible based on the benefits of it. So get over it. I can't find this release.
And do you know that if you make $10,000 a year, your taxes are going up?
Wow. So,
under this bill.
So we've gone from 400 to 200. I thought it was 30. You're telling me it's 10.
10.
So basically, anyone that wakes up for a job is being affected negatively by this.
Everybody who makes money.
But don't forget, it's negligible. According to the White House.
Well, it's an increase of 0.1%. So it's not huge, but he broke a promise. It's like 0.3%, I think, if you make $30,000. But everybody's getting a tax increase. Everyone.
Absolutely.
Everyone who makes money, everybody who has a job. If you're taxed, because I don't think they even bother if you make $5,000 or less. But if you're taxed, you're getting a tax increase.
Okay, so they're saying we should expect the bill to have a negligible impact on inflation. So they're talking about it's negligible. That's what they sold us on. This was going to reduce inflation.
Well, they called it the Inflation Reduction Act.
The negligible reduction in inflation act. By the way,
liars.
Kirsten Sinema, she is waiting for the parliamentarian to rule.
Really?
That's all I know. I don't know if the parliamentarian says it's a good thing, she votes for it. If he says it's bad.
She's our last hope. She's our last hope.
This is just stupid.
888-900-3393. More coming up.
If it's good enough for them, is it good enough for you?
Now back to Pat Gray Unleashed.
No, you look like an idiot. That's true.
Vern Lundquist tweets, I thought Nancy's swimsuit picture was more likely to start a war than her travel plans.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that was...
not pleasant.
No, thank you. You can't unsee that. Jimmy Dimples tweets, that's a movie I'd like to skip. Chinese nuclear navy versus AI Skynet. How do I switch to the cute animal videos?
Oh, wait, was that a request for animal videos?
Keith can help you with that.
Okay.
Swank think, who thought giving the robots guns was a good idea?
Oh, man, we are in so much trouble as a society.
And from Pathead Cougar fan, by the way, fall camp has already begun. All right. First game, September 3rd. For Keith's Huskers, first game is August 27th, is it?
Yeah. So after today, we got 24 days until week 0 of college football.
I love it. And NFL is just around the corner as well. They're already deep into their camps.
Yeah.
Let's see. But Pathead Cougar fan, what happens when the robots malfunction and start doing a mass shooting? Do we blame the gun or the robot? President, my boss, did you just miss an opportunity to douche canoe?
To use the word?
To use douche canoe, yeah.
Is that don't mark it off your square.
D-bag just doesn't have the same impact anymore. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, douche canoe is...
Oh, it's not on there. Okay.
That's definitely better.
It is fun.
Definitely better. Regarding the drone strike on al-Zawahiri, a tweet from Linda asks, where's the proof of this terrorist leader being killed? I'm skeptical until proof is presented.
I mean, that's my rule, is I don't
with this
believe
administration
anything the government says
you have
at
no
first
idea.
blush.
Right?
So, yeah, and I guess the moral of the story is don't be a terrorist in an election year.
Yeah.
Maybe it is true. But someone's asking, and I think this is a fair question, how much you want to bet Joe Biden wasn't even in on this decision?
Oh, I bet he wasn't. When they say, oh, he was fully engaged, completely engaged and immersed in this decision. Every step of the way, he was asking great questions, analyzing the data.
You're trying too hard.
He's actually the one who planned the attack. And he flew the drone. Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
He went to Las Vegas, where a lot of these drone pilots are located, and he flew the drone and pushed the button that fired the missile that killed al-Zawahiri.
He's been on lockdown for COVID part 2.
Yeah, but he emptied the area so it would be safe, but then he went inside.
His little speech last night, Democrats cannot do tough at all. But, he said he made the decision last week.
Oh.
I'd like to go back and watch that clip. I didn't have him pull anything. But I wonder if he paused on the teleprompter when he was reading that last night and went, wait a minute, I didn't approve anything. Oh, anyway, keep reading. I wonder if there was like a weird pause where he's just like...
Probably.
I don't remember that.
Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Or was I just thinking about pudding? I don't know. Some pretty good news. Former President Donald Trump would enter the 2024 Republican presidential primary as the heavy favorite for the party's nomination, even if Ron DeSantis runs. According to this, the latest Harvard Capps Harris poll shows that Donald Trump is far and away the front runner, scoring 52% support. 52. The next closest is Ron DeSantis at 19%. You believe that? 33 points ahead?
Do I believe that?
Wow. Wow. DeSantis is the only other candidate to even get double-digit support. Vice President Mike Pence comes in third at 7.
How is he even on polls?
I don't know. I
mean,
I don't know.
Okay. Have you seen, is there the Pence crew? You've got Trump fans.
Yeah, have you ever met anybody in the last 2 years who said, who I can't wait to vote for?
Oh, who's that?
Mike Pence.
Oh, really?
Those words were never said. They've never been spoken by any person. So, amazing.
That's got to be name recognition, right?
I think so.
That gets him 7%? Because it's not like they're fired up, man. Oh, his time is now. Mike Pence, 24.
And there's some things I really like about him. I think he's a good guy.
I think he's level-headed.
Moral guy. He doesn't try to stir up the pot just to stir it up. But maybe that's a bad thing, because look at what Trump has accomplished in 4 years of his presidency. I mean, he did do some great things.
The world no longer needs a statesman.
Right.
We need...
an action person.
We need a leader, is what we need.
In the event Trump doesn't mount another bid for the White House, and he has repeatedly hinted he will, though, DeSantis' support goes from 19 to 34%, putting him 15 points ahead of Pence. And then you got Ted Cruz after that, followed by Nikki Haley. Survey is only the latest sign that DeSantis, a rising Republican star, could be a competitive force should he launch a campaign. And I don't know. It's getting to the point where I think he's going to run no matter what, whether Trump runs or not. And that might cost him a friendship there. When it comes to overall favorability, DeSantis beat Trump, though he remains less well known than the former president, obviously. 36% of voters say they have a favorable view of the Florida governor compared to 30% who have an unfavorable opinion of him. So he's above water, 36 to 30.
Yeah, but you just made it, the way you laid out the numbers there, I picked up the support for Pence going way up if Trump gets out of the race.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that there's much crossover between your typical Trump supporter and your Pence supporter after January 6th.
No, that's true.
For him to jump up like that from 7 to, I think it was 19.
Yeah.
That's okay. I just don't see future for Pence.
Trump supporters are really pissed at him still, I think. I think they're done with Mike Pence. So, yeah, that's
I'm
a good
surprised
point.
that DeSantis wouldn't absorb all of the Trump support, that vacuum that he creates. I would figure would all go to DeSantis.
Two other Republicans, Pence and Tim Scott, included in the survey, have positive favorability ratings. Despite January 6th, Trump, of course, they have to say that it's a Harvard poll. Trump maintains a strong base in the Republican Party, although Ron DeSantis is clearly up and coming. Trump would beat DeSantis today, but most people in the country don't want Trump to run again. So his victory is not assured, despite a good starting point. I mean, they don't want to face him again because they know he'll annihilate them. With all the problems that Joe Biden has, Donald Trump won't be shy about highlighting them.
Yeah, who would have an easy time in the debates to go, Joe, you screwed up what I left behind. Let's get back to that, America. I mean, that is the worse things get for Biden and America, the better odds for Donald Trump himself to come back
that is true.
And be elected.
Though we're not rooting for those things. We're not rooting for it to get worse.
No, but
so that his chances improve.
The tea leaves there. How about a DeSantis Massey ticket? Can I get you into one of those?
Yes, you
Ron
could.
DeSantis.
You could. It's not going to happen, but you could. For some reason, people don't like Thomas Massey. I don't understand it. I really don't get it. Because I think he'd be fantastic.
Well, he is so good on watching our treasury. And taking care of how much money we're spending.
Well, yeah, but does he have an economic degree?
You know what? I think he does.
He does. Yes, he does.
Massey?
Yeah.
He's very educated. No, you're talking about
I'm thinking
Mo
of
Brooks.
Mo Brooks, right. So I don't know if Massey does, but he's he should be more favorable to the American people than many others. Certainly more than he is already. Let me tell you about Tommy John. In the summer heat, man, it's tough to be comfortable. And if you have underwear that rides up and gets hot and you get sweaty, it's just nasty. So you need Tommy John.
Absolutely. Comfortable.
When you wear Tommy John, you're that much cooler. Is it not the most comfortable underwear of all time?
And allow me to say this. Even in the summertime, when you're wearing the Tommy Johns that come down to here, it's still cool and comfortable.
I know.
Like, you wouldn't risk wearing those longer underwear in the summertime, especially in Dallas, Texas, if they're not Tommy John.
It's the fabric. I mean, it's so soft, and it doesn't ride up. It's guaranteed not to. Over 17 million pairs sold. People love their Tommy John underwear. And don't sleep on the Tommy... Get it? Don't sleep on the Tommy John loungewear because it is super comfortable and the first thing I like to hop into when I get home. Celebrate now by getting 20% off at TommyJohn.com/unleashed. That's TommyJohn.com/unleashed. See the site for details.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Actually, Thomas Massey apparently doesn't have a degree in economics. His background is engineering, but he's still great.
MIT, baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's no dummy.
He probably helped design those robots that are going to kill us all.
He might have, actually. All right. I think I might save this. We'll start the next hour with this asset forfeiture thing because, it is my top jihad item. And we have an interesting chart that it's just staggering, stunning. And yet nobody's really talking about it. Nobody in the mainstream media ever talks about civil asset forfeiture. I mean, you can't get interested in the government stealing from the American people unconstitutionally.
I mean, flat out stealing.
Yeah, absolute theft. Now, Beyonce has decided to remove her ableist slur from, is it the song Heated or is it album? Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Her new album is Renaissance and the song is Heated because she got backlash from disability campaigners. So, yeah, she said the wrong word.
Oh, we are making progress as a society, aren't we?
Uh-huh. The good thing is, though, some of these progressives are getting burned by their own rules.
Yeah.
40-year-old singer received rave reviews when she debuted her dance-inspired 7th studio album on Friday. But she came under fire over the weekend when fans noticed the inclusion of a derogatory term in the song. On the track, co-written by Drake. I love the songwriting team of Beyonce and Drake, man. I have to download every single song they write together.
Okay, what's your favorite Drake song, would you say?
Oh, I can't. It's like selecting a favorite child. Keith, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Okay.
It would be too much of a disservice to all his other songs, which I equally love. But in the song, she sings the line, "Spazzin' on that ass."
Wait, hold on. You gotta
and then she
isolate that
repeats
audio.
it, "Spazzin' on that ass."
Okay, isolate that, Corby.
I don't know exactly what that means, but of course the word spaz just refers to, freaking out.
Freaking out, yeah.
If you spaz out, you're freaking out.
Yeah.
That's not a term against a disabled person.
We're the most sensitive society in every way imaginable.
It's so stupid. But supposedly it's derived from the word spastic, which is considered demeaning to people with spastic cerebral palsy.
Okay.
According to the CDC, the disorder affects a person's ability to control their muscles, especially in their arms and legs. Clearly not what Beyonce was referring to, but you know what? We can't take context into consideration. We can't take the meaning of what she's trying to get across into consideration. We can't take reality into consideration. If somebody's offended or wants to be offended, I'm sure nobody was offended by. Who's offended by this?
Well, the campaigners for spaz people. I don't. I mean, seriously, like two people living in their parents' basement who are listening. It obviously
she said spaz,
right? To react that quickly to the album that just dropped.
Right.
They're obviously fans of hers, right? They had to be listening to the new album as it dropped and go, "Wait a minute, I have something to be offended about." That's how so many people approach life. Is let me see how I can be offended today and make a big deal about something.
I love how CNN's quoting somebody from the CDC, right? Or is it? No, it's a disability advocate, Hannah Deviney. She wrote, so Beyonce used the word spaz in her new song. Okay, that's SP and then, the asterisks.
They won't write it?
They couldn't even write out the word spaz.
Who's the outlet? Who's the...
CNN.
CNN, okay.
Of course. CNN, you can't write out the word? Come on! Unreal.
I mean, we don't even have a language really anymore.
No, we don't.
We can't speak
No, we don't.
to each other. We can't use words that should be acceptable.
Right.
Because we always gotta be angry at something.
And Hannah writes, guess I'll just keep telling the whole industry to do better until ableist slurs disappear from music. How many ableist slurs have there been? How many? I only know of this one. What do you... Who Who's going after the disabled in their music? Another commentator tweeted, "Screw you, Beyonce.
Okay. Oh.
You should be a role model, not making money from the lazy use of derogatory language. Shame on you." Okay. Representatives for Beyonce confirmed that the lyric will be removed. The word, not used intentionally in a harmful way, will be replaced, they said.
Yeah.
Of course it will.
Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if... Oh, my gosh. These stories, they're written so carefully that they don't even tell you what the slur is.
Yeah.
Remember when Lizzo, she had an ableist slur as well.
Oh, she did. Okay.
But
I don't
can't
know Lizzo's
find
music.
it because I'm reading this Huffington Post article that doesn't tell me what it is.
Yeah, because it can't be printed.
Right.
Can't be printed.
How do we function?
Let's see. I saw Lizzo referenced here.
Yeah. I think she used spaz as well.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It feels like a slap in the face to me, the disabled community, and the progress we tried to make with Lizzo. Okay.
Yeah, here's Lizzo. Hold my bag, biatch. Hold my bag. Do you see this S? I'm a spaz. I'm about to knock somebody out. Oh!
I don't know how we function as a society now that she said that. How do you...
Well, she apologized, thankfully.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, maybe we can finish the show now, because, man, that was a body blow right there.
I'm sorry.
Unreal.
Sorry. Corby, how long's the dump today? Sorry.
Hilary Kennedy coming up in about 45 minutes, and a little discussion about civil asset forfeiture.
Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze Radio Network.
Got some tweets here. Jimmy Dimples tweets, "I've repeated before that I voted for Pence and his running mate in 16. Right. His running mate, of course, Donald Trump. And Trump wholeheartedly in 2020. But between Pence and DeSantis, I'd take DeSantis first. Destructive Dead Geckos. Assuring me Biden was fully engaged with the military operation does not provide me any actual assurance.
Yeah.
And from Florida Man Rob, the reason why people have to be offended by everything is because they live boring lives, which being offended makes them seem interesting. All right. Okay. It's not working, though. I don't think that's interesting at all. Told you about that we were going to have a little discussion about civil asset forfeiture because it is my top jihad, I would say.
Yeah.
And there's a number of them. We'll go through the list again sometime, but not right now. But this is where if police or any law enforcement agency finds you with a bunch of cash, it's not illegal to carry cash, by the way, in any amount. You could carry $2 billion in cash if you want. You don't. There's no requirement that you not transport that in your car or take it with you on a flight. You can do all those things.
Yep.
But for some reason, it's okay for law enforcement to confiscate your money if they pull you over for whatever reason. Or maybe they see something in your suitcase at the airport and take it. But this happens all the time. Even when people aren't ever charged with a crime of any kind, let alone convicted of a crime. Now, it used to be that, okay, they were convicted of the crime and we took their ill-gotten booty, right? Like they had a van for transporting and selling drugs out of the back of it. Okay, well, they got convicted. They're doing their time. They got a 5-year sentence. We took their van and we're going to sell it to, fight drug trafficking.
Yeah, you would impound the tools
vehicle,
that they
whatever
use
it
to
was.
break the law. And once, like you said, once they're convicted,
right,
then we sell it. Yeah,
different deal. That's a separate argument if you don't think that's right. But this is without any charges, any wrongdoing. They just take it.
Unacceptable.
And then assume you're guilty until you prove you're innocent. Wait, what? That's the opposite of how our system works. So just to illustrate that, there's a graph that we found yesterday.
Yeah, somebody tagged us in this.
Asset forfeitures surpass burglaries.
Yeah, Washington Post chart.
Look at that. This is from the Washington Post. Total annual dollar value of assets seized by federal law enforcement, and then burglary losses. So losses from burglaries in this year, when it goes up to 2014, losses from burglaries are right around $4 billion. Civil asset forfeiture is over $6 billion. Right?
Just over $5 billion. Yeah.
Okay.
So you got just below $4 billion.
Just over 5.
So yeah, so over $1 billion more from civil asset forfeiture than just burglary. And then we found an updated chart that shows things got a little bit better between 2014 and 2019.
Well, first it got worse. This is what I was thinking of. They went above $6 billion in 2015, where burglary was about $3.5 billion.
Yeah.
Jeez. Then it got better in 2016. Do we have this chart?
I don't
too?
guess I
okay.
must have forgotten to put it.
In 2016, burglary
it
actually
kind of levels out a little bit.
Outstripped civil asset forfeiture. But the last year we have records for 2019, it's about the same.
Yeah, and it's back to more seized from civil asset.
Slightly more in civil asset forfeiture than burglary.
It's a disturbing number to see.
It's un-American. It's unacceptable, and I don't know why we're not making a bigger deal out of this than we are. It is one of the most un-American things we have to deal with in our society right now. It's just unacceptable. It can't continue. Jeez, but people are losing millions of dollars in some cases. Certainly hundreds of tens and hundreds of thousands in one traffic stop. There was a guy in Utah, they took $500,000 from him. Pulled him over on the highway. Utah Highway Patrol pulled him over. I guess a dog hit on the car, and so they took the opportunity then to find the cash and confiscate it. Wait, okay, I don't know why he's traveling with $500,000 either, but who cares?
None of my business.
It's none of my business. It's none of law enforcement's business. If he's not doing anything wrong, leave him alone, send him on his way with his money.
Yeah, and story after story after story. If you just do some news search on civil asset forfeiture, you'll see people losing their retirements, people losing the cash they were going to use to buy a truck for their business.
Right.
All with legitimate reasons that they don't have to give, by the way. But there's always an explanation. And then they have to go through the hoops of court costs, lawyer fees, all this stuff to go. And then
sometimes they still don't get it back.
Right. And then they get to the point where the government agency that's involved will go, oh, crap, they're going to actually take this to court and whatever. Let's just make a settlement with them. And in many cases, the people get maybe a percentage half, maybe a third, 2/3 of their money back after they've gone through all the costs associated with court. The system sucks on every level in this country. If you've experienced it firsthand, you know it sucks. And I'm so sick and tired of stuff like this happening to good, hardworking Americans. It's a wonder that people haven't lost their minds more than they have already. With this kind of treatment by these government agencies, it's madness. It's absolute madness, and it's unacceptable. And there's no way you can say with a straight face to your kids that we live in a free country anymore.
And regardless of whether it equals or is greater than the amount of burglary that happened that year, $6 billion in civil asset forfeiture in a year? It's unreal.
No.
And then in 2019, it was over $3 billion. So they cut it in half for some reason because maybe people were starting to pay attention to it. But $3 billion worth of civil asset forfeiture? Still way too much. $1 is too much. If this happened to me, I'd be out of my mind.
Be on the news, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Me too.
Yes, I would. And probably shot by police. So, Will Smith, we started this a little bit yesterday.
Overtime.
Yeah. Oh, that was in overtime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just to share with you a little bit of what happened on overtime, Will Smith officially apologized to Chris Rock over the weekend.
He sat down and answered some questions.
Yeah, it was quite a little production. He I don't know. See if you think he's sincere here. I kind of do. Okay. I kind of do. But it starts out.
Boy, any kind of apology that starts with a rack focus,
all right,
is definitely genuine.
So he's talking about the fact that he's going to answer some of your questions now. And he sits down to do just that.
Okay. Here we go.
Hello?
Why didn't you apologize to Chris?
Pause it for a second. He gets right to it, and quite badly, actually. We mentioned this yesterday. This is one of the biggest actors in the world. You can't read this question a little bit better than that? Why didn't you apologize to Chris? All right, let's
honestly, it'd been better if he'd wrapped his answers.
Acceptance speech. I was fogged out by that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize.
Say it faster.
To you.
I know.
My behavior was unacceptable.
Right.
And I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
The slower you say it, the more
the more profound
sincere,
and sincere it is.
I want to apologize to Chris's mother.
Oh.
I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock
that up.
was my man. And this is probably irreparable. I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment.
Okay. You get pissed.
And
it's not that
I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now.
I mean, when you say it like that.
I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal
I like that he's unequivocal.
To handle a feeling of
but
disrespect.
I do wish that his pace were faster.
Insults.
Yeah, this could have been about half as long as it is.
This is one of those things you just put on like double
did she
speed.
Tell you to do something? No.
So Jada didn't tell him to do something.
I made a choice on my own.
Bad one.
My own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it.
Your history? Wait.
What's the history with Chris?
What happened?
Explain that to us.
What?
And say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on.
Yeah, but your kid endorsed
all of
it
us.
On Twitter.
Pause it for a second. Did he really?
Yeah, I believe it was the daughter, right? Right after that said, "This is how we roll," or "This is how we do things," or something like that. Allegedly.
Okay.
It was the son. Oh, it was the son. It was the son. Okay. Corby's telling me it's the son.
Wow.
It was like a tweet or something, and so it was obvious what the reference was. It was like the day after. That's how we do things, or something.
Oh, that's interesting. That's how you do things in your family? Okay. Well, it's probably not the right thing to say. All right, let's finish this up.
To all my fellow nominees.
Yeah.
This is a community. Right. It's like I won because you voted for me. And it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment.
Good point.
I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient.
True. That's true. Give him
what
money.
would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down?
Faster.
So there's two things. One.
Gosh, we got two to listen
disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down.
Need a therapist.
So it hurts.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to.
Pause it. Are psychologically and emotionally different? Or is that exactly the same thing? And he was redundant right there.
Case can be made. Yeah.
Okay. Let's finish this up. We're just to the point of nitpicking now. The people's
image and impression of me.
Yeah,
okay.
It was
that was fine.
Yeah. Get there faster!
The work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself.
I've never heard him talk like this.
I'm human.
I haven't either.
This pacing is just...
I made a mistake.
Okay.
And
I'm
trying not to think of myself as a piece of
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking.
Shocking and confusing.
But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And,
good.
You know,
do that. How about make good movies?
If you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
All right.
Or our money back. Okay.
There you go.
I kind of bought in.
You bought in.
Yeah, I kind of bought in.
But let's revisit something that we talked about on Overtime here. Can we get the wide angle of the little setup there where his son's water company...
you're going to ruin it again. They actually never did a close-up on it, though, during the actual
You know, I got to be
event,
subtle with product placement.
So here's the close-up of what it is. It's his son's water company.
I got to drink the water that Will Smith drinks when he's begging for forgiveness.
If you're cynical, you could say, all right, they're just trying to do some product placement.
That the water that Justin Trudeau is a big fan of?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water bottles.
When we have water bottles out of a
plastic.
What's he doing with his hand?
Away from plastic towards paper.
Away from
like drink box water bottles sort of things.
Drink box water bottles sort of things.
In every way.
Moron.
Every way. Justin Trudeau.
All right, let me tell you about Birch Gold Group. You know what's never good is when your nation's supposed authority on economic policy completely misses the flashing red lights of impending inflation. Yeah, I didn't see any inflation coming. I got that wrong. Thank you, Janet. Janet Yellen has finally admitted now there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that affected our economy badly that I didn't at the time fully understand. Oh, okay, well, we're in really good hands with her. You know who did understand the real threat of inflation? People who invested in gold and silver with the Birch Gold Group. They're protecting their savings from a highly turbulent economy by diversifying their 401k or IRA into gold, physical gold, and it's not too late. You can take action right now. Text PAT to 989-898. You'll get a free info kit on diversifying and protecting your savings with precious metals. And then you can read all the information, then make your decision. AAA rating with the BBB, countless 5-star reviews, and all kinds of satisfied customers. Text PAT to 989-898 and get real help from Birch Gold today. 989-898. Text PAT to 989-898 and claim your free no-obligation info kit.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So how's Joe Biden doing so far? So well.
Yeah.
According to these few measurements, things are going really, really well.
Oh,
really
good.
well.
Good.
Here's just 5 things we can look at. In June of 2020, so Donald Trump was still in office, the average gas price was $2.17. In June of 2021, a year later, under Biden, it was $3.15. June of this year, it was $4.82. Okay. The inflation rate in June 2020, 0.6%. In June 21, 5.4%. And in June 2022, 8.3%. That's really going well so far. COVID cases. Okay. The 7-day average. Remember how terrible Trump was. He didn't plan anything. He didn't have a way out. He didn't have a way to distribute the vaccine, except they were using his way to distribute the vaccine at the beginning. So COVID cases 7-day average in 2020, June 2020, 22,433. In June 2021, 11,756. So it was cut about in half. June 2022, 106,757 per day. Okay. Illegal border encounters, 363,000 in June 2020. In 21, it was 871,000. And in June of this year, 1,478,000.
That number seems bigger.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah. You might recognize that as like 4 times, almost 5 times the illegal border encounters from Trump to this year with Biden. Total consumer debt, minus 0.3% in June 2020.
So people were saving.
Yeah. So in June 2021, it was 4.2%. That's quite an increase. And in June of this year, just 14%. So everything's good. It's historically good, this economy. I don't want to hear your belly aching. It is historically good.
Wait, are some people not happy with how things are going?
I've heard that there's some belly aching going around. Yeah.
Oh, I don't care for that.
That's unacceptable. You shouldn't care for it. These people just don't know how good they have it. And the problem is the Biden administration has just not communicated yet how great things are and how great it is for you and the marvelous things they've done working for you.
Yeah, now they're threatening to call in a state of emergency for monkeypox in the United States.
And they should,
because
Keith.
New York City has done that. New York City says, hey, it's bad, it's an emergency stuff.
Well, let's hear their guy talking about the government and how bad it is. The government's got to declare an emergency.
So we got this montage, the media trying to scare us all.
Oh, it's more than one person?
Oh yeah, it's a potpourri of media spokesholes.
And it goes a little something like this.
About the monkeypox outbreak.
Okay. Powerful words from the head of the World Health Organization amid rising cases of monkeypox.
The global monkeypox outbreak represents a public health emergency of international concern.
A public health emergency.
A public health emergency.
A public health emergency.
Monkeypox cases surge in more than 75 countries. Here in the U.S., there are about 2,900 cases, including 2 children.
States across the country are struggling to get the monkeypox vaccine as cases are on the rise.
The U.S. originally ordered 2.5 million vaccine. They've now ordered an additional 2.5 million, but health officials admit they do not have enough vaccines to meet demand.
What are we going to do?
We got an allotment of 200 vaccines, and the appointments for that went in about an hour and a half.
The Biden administration considers whether it will also declare a public health emergency here in the U.S.
I think they're going to be reluctant to use the word pandemic because it implies that they've failed to contain this. And I think at this point we've failed to contain this. I think the window for getting control of this and containing it probably has closed.
So far, the majority of the cases have happened in men who are intimate with other men.
What?
But officials stress this: anyone can get this virus.
But anybody can get it.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah, don't tell me that it's mostly men having sex with men. Don't tell me that, because anybody can get it. That's why they included 2 children in it.
Yeah, but don't you dare. Suggest that people stop doing it. Okay?
Well, they can't.
Don't take 2 weeks off. That's all we're asking, okay? You asked us to lock down our society for years, right? Kids couldn't go to school. We couldn't say goodbye to dying loved ones. You know what?
And I suggested staying home from the bathhouse just for a few weeks.
No, then they're hateful.
No.
But you don't do that.
You can't do that.
Don't you do that?
San Francisco, they had their fetish festival that's popular with gay men. They had that anyway.
15
the Up
days.
Your Alley festival.
Up your alley.
Yeah. Usually described as a bit kinkier and nastier, more gay male-centric than other similar kink and fetish festivals
What
in San
happened to
Francisco.
15 days to stop the spread?
We're not there.
By the way, how many deaths are we up to now worldwide? You got a guess?
Okay. Yes. 5? 5 in the whole world. Wow.
Pat Gray. Pat Gray returns.
And we return with Hilary Kennedy from 4 Minute Buzz and a big UFC fan. There was another event over the weekend, right?
It was in Dallas.
You got to hang on. Just,
can you hear me?
What's wrong with your microphone?
Zach, you got to turn on her microphone.
Hello.
Come on, Corby Jr.
Still not there.
You can do it. There you go, Hillary.
If you don't want to listen to me, it's okay. You can tell me. Just turn the mics off.
So, hang on one second because we still don't have this right, and we're hearing you guys.
Yeah, we can
so
hear
you've
you
turned
guys.
on your mic, but not hers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, your mic is still on.
Yeah, kill your
Zach.
microphone, Zachary.
You turned mine off. Sorry, Hillary.
No problem.
But okay, speak into yours.
Check 1, 2, 3. I'm here to talk UFC.
I think it's picking it up.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Can you hear that, Keith? I just can't figure out if we're picking you up on your mic or Keith's.
Or Keith's mic?
So that's an issue. Why don't you move over to Keith's seat?
Sure, no problem.
We'll just do it that way. Yep. Okay.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
All right. Here we
Okay.
go.
Okay. So you're saying the two best fights were the bloodiest, of course, because you like it bloody.
Yes, if there's no blood, then you did not get your money's worth. So there were 2 fights that were pretty bloody this weekend. And for people who don't think women's sports are as exciting as men's sports, and I generally agree with you, but in the UFC, that is not the case. The female fights are awesome.
For me, that's hard to watch. It's hard for, I don't know what it is. It's
there's nothing more raw than the anger of 2 women. I love it. So this was a really,
and was
really
that one of the
sensational
bloody
fight.
ones?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
Amanda Nunes, the lioness, and she was fighting Juliana Pena. And she had lost to Pena at one point in time. So this was like a very anticipated rematch.
Like a big grudge match.
Yes. And I have to say that Pena is.
Look at that.
Pena describes herself as tougher than a $2 steak, and she's right. She hung in there all 5 rounds. She got knocked down 3 times in one round and still managed to get back up, keep swinging. But Nunes came in really prepared, mentally prepared, and she came in using a southpaw stance, which kind of threw Pena off her game.
Yeah.
So that strategy worked really well. But, Nunes was in the driver's seat the whole time. She looked fantastic. She did ultimately win, but not before. She came out pretty bloodied and mangled as well. But it was a great fight. And anyone that hasn't seen it, go back, watch the highlights because you will love it.
Lots of blood from these 2 women. That's great.
Yes.
You show the photo again because is the one whose face is all bloody, is that Nunez or the other one?
That's Pena. And
Okay.
so she's
All right.
actually a very beautiful woman if you've ever seen
Is
her
she
when
really?
she's not covered in
Because
blood.
she does not look it there.
But she didn't need surgery. They asked for an update on her health. She didn't need surgery or anything like that. Some people thought she was going to maybe need some reconstruction because she got a very deep gash on her forehead. But she said,
Was
no,
that from a
she's-
headbutt?
She's recovering fine. I can't remember how she got the gash on her forehead. but
Maybe a kick.
She really, she's a brave fighter. She hung in there and she almost had Nunes a couple of times with an armbar, but it didn't work out for her ultimately in the end.
Would you like to do that? Would you like to fight in the?
If I didn't do this for work and didn't need my face,
Yeah.
We actually
Yes.
talked about
Yes.
this when I interviewed her for At the Mic. And remember,
There it is.
I gave you like the option. I think your sister was a possibility.
yes, I have a former
previous
coworker.
coworker, yeah.
I would enjoy fighting. Yes,
Good stuff.
but yeah. So
Huh.
I think that the female fights are some of the most exciting, and I think because the brutality is a little unexpected.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so I encourage
Right.
you to watch more of the female.
So
fights if you
was there
haven't.
a male fight that got bloody too?
There was. So Brandon Moreno, he fought Kai Kara France. And this was a great fight. It had a ton of action. The first 2 rounds, there were a lot of body kicks, leg kicks. It was very exciting. Ultimately, he won with a devastating body kick. And so he He had a 3rd round TKO. But there is a picture of Moreno's face. They have like a side-by-side, like a before and after.
Oh, no.
And
Oh,
he
God.
just
Oh, my gosh.
looks horrible.
Wow.
He was torn up.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you're listening to the audio version only of this podcast, imagine Brad Pitt on the left and then Jeffy on the right. That's the difference we're talking
Face
about
all
here.
swollen,
Oh,
cut
my
up.
goodness.
Eesh, boy.
Yeah, it was. And so this was
That's
their
brutal.
3rd time to fight each other. And it was still just as exciting as the other 2 times. So people are calling for maybe a 4th rematch, which normally would never happen. But even Dana White said, you know what? I welcome it. I would watch this again.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a great fight. Lots of blood.
Yeah.
Also, what I thought was funny, since my sister was actually at this fight, she said people kept shouting, "Let's go, Brandon," the entire fight when Brandon Moreno was in there, which was great. And she said people tried to get a lot of the FJB chant going as well.
Was this in Dallas or where?
It was in Dallas.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
When's the next one? It's August 20th. I saw on the old calendar.
Salt Lake City.
Oh.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to actually try and go to that one. So,
Are you really?
Yeah, so I'll let you know.
Wait,
All
there's
right.
just
I know
one
there's one
5
here in
minutes
Dallas.
from here.
I
and
know.
you didn't
I had
go
to
that.
work this weekend, so I missed it. But my sister and brother-in-law got the tickets. So they said it was fantastic. And I know we talk about Jake Paul here a lot as well. So I have a little update on him. So he was supposed to have a boxing match with Hasim Rahman Jr. on August the 6th. And they'd agreed to fight at a maximum weight of 200 pounds.
Now, this is a boxing match, not MMA, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Boxing match. So Rahman weighed in at 216 on July 7th. And they said, hey, publicly and privately, they said, hey, we're going to be able to make weight in time for the match. Don't worry about it. They even had like a signed letter by a nutritionist who said, yeah, I'll be able to make weight. But Jake Paul's camp said, no, you're not sticking to our terms. There's no way that you're going to be able to make weight. So they canceled the fight. So after UFC 277, people asked Dana White, because they love to ask Dana about Jake Paul. And they asked him, what did you think about them canceling this big fight? It's been really hyped up. Everybody wants to see Jake Paul fight again. And he said, I think it was canceled because they didn't sell enough tickets. Because he said, from what I heard, they sold $100,000 worth of tickets, but it's $500,000 just to turn the lights on in that place. So I think they're running scared, and that's why.
Does Jake Paul have anything huge lined up against anybody that we know?
I mean, this was really it. Like,
Yeah,
this was his next
yeah.
big fight. So people were super excited about it. And there was a lot of hype around it. But Dana White also told Jake Paul, like, you need to get better people around you. Your people stink at managing your career. So I don't know what's going to happen next. Rahman had a rebuttal back because Jake Paul went on YouTube and Twitter and said, you know, he's kind of a cheater. He wasn't going to make weight. He didn't stick to the terms. But Rahman wrote back and said, no, I am ready to fight. I'm going to be there. It's your camp that's canceling the fight. I had nothing to do with this. So very
interesting. Yeah. He's made a lot of money, though, hasn't he? With because who did he fight last time? And he just beat an MMA guy not too long ago. Yeah, Woodley.
Cameron Woodley, yeah. So that was a good fight. So I think.
So, I mean, he seems to be the real deal. He can hold his own in the ring.
He can. He trains really hard. People love to hate him too. So he's got such a big personality, and to have longevity in the career, you really need that. So
I'd like to see him get in the ring with a decent MMA fighter. That would be interesting.
I agree.
I think he'd get his butt kicked.
Well, he keeps inching closer and closer to trying to get a big UFC fight, and he and Dana have such contention, and people really want to see that drama. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this was a disappointment because everybody was really looking forward to it.
Yeah. What else you have here?
Something Keith and I talked about the other day. We were talking about cupping. So I have recently gone to get cupping done. I'd had it done before.
Cupping is where you stick like suction cups to?
The glass cups. Typically on your back, but you can get them lots of different places. Lots of Olympic athletes do it. So for people who are watching, we have a video.
Oh my goodness!
Getting cupped.
So they take the cups, they light them on fire to warm them up, and then they stick them to your back. But what I thought was most interesting about doing this, because it's a detox for your body, and this has been used for thousands of years in all sorts of places. Egypt,
and what's it
China,
supposed to do?
Iran. It's a detox. So it's supposed to bring all the toxins that are in your body to the surface, and you're able to get them out.
Yeah.
You feel better.
Really?
I swear by it. I love it. I think it's amazing. People think it's crazy, but it's superficial bruising. I would rather have some superficial bruises than have to try a bunch of pharmaceuticals in order to feel better.
How long do the bruises last?
On me, because I spray tan, so I'm orange most of the time. But in real life, I'm pretty pale. So bruises on me last about a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
Okay, but the way we got to talking about this is we were talking about the vaccines, which of course are safe and effective, as we've been brainwashed to believe. And you are telling me that the people that do this cupping stuff can draw that poison, the vaccine right out of your system, right?
She said that is
really
a lot of her business recently is people that have had the vaccine and they can draw some of that out. And what I thought was even crazier is when she took some of the cups off, she said, "Have you had COVID recently?" And I said, "Yeah, a couple weeks ago I did when I was on vacation." And she said, "We can smell it."
COVID has a smell.
Really?
We heard early on that dogs
dogs
could smell that.
were-
Yeah.
Mhm.
But so I guess the message for people that got the vaccine maybe have been just terrified at the ramifications, the unintended consequences of this since they got it.
Go cupping.
You might want to try cupping.
Yeah.
Get it out of
You
you.
know what? Anything is worth a try. But I do believe in it. I felt so much better after getting
More
it done.
energy?
So, absolutely. More energy. Everything just felt like it worked better. I slept better.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I mean, it's a
How
pretty
often do you have to
fascinating
go do
process.
that to maintain this balance?
It just depends. A lot of people do maintenance cupping. I had my backside done first,
Mhm.
and that was the least comfortable. So I that night I felt really sore and achy, almost kind of like when you have the flu. And I just drank tons of water and took like a nice Epsom salt bath and felt great the next day. I had the front done next, and that's a little less comfortable because the
Don't
skin
play
is
that video
thinner
loud.
on the front. But my bruises didn't last as long because she'd already removed a lot of stuff that was in my body that shouldn't be
so
there.
you didn't really know that
Yeah.
quickly.
So I think if you did it, on a maintenance schedule, just did it every couple of months or so.
Very cool.
It'd be really
Is it
helpful.
expensive?
It can be. Yeah, for
Yeah.
full body, it was about $400, which
Okay.
is not cheap.
Is there a
But
Groupon available?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you're
I'm guessing
looking
insurance
forward-
doesn't cover it.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking for something that's not taking a pharmaceutical or spending, a ton of money going to a bunch of different doctors to figure out why you don't feel good, it's always worth trying.
If you got the
Worth a try.
vaccine against your will
Sure.
and you want it out of you, that sounds
Go
like
see
a
if they can pull it out.
Yeah, they
With
said they're
cupping.
doing it for lots of people. So.
Thanks, Hillary. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
No,
for
you
having
have to get to the 4-minute buzz. But thanks again. If you're a dog owner, you know that taking care of your pet means more than just giving them food and water. I mean, you want to give them the best. The dog is a part of your family, and their health and happiness are important. So that's why I've been talking about Rough Greens for so long now. Rough Greens changed my dog's life. She loves this stuff, and she just won't eat her food. She's not interested unless the Rough Greens is on top of it. She's really gotten used to it. It's a supplement you sprinkle on top of whatever you feed your dog, and it's full of vitamins and minerals and probiotics, antioxidants, everything your dog needs to keep them active and healthy. Now, most dogs I know of love this stuff, but Rough Greens wants to be sure your dog is going to love it too before you make a big commitment to it. So they'll send you a free bag of Rough Greens for your dog to try out for a couple of days. All you have to do is pay for the shipping. Just go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFF Greens, roughgreens.com, or 833-783-3364.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Okay. The FDA has warned puberty blockers may cause brain swelling, vision loss in children, and other things.
Oh, the FDA is saying that?
Yeah, the FDA.
That sounds hateful.
You might know them as the Federal Drug Administration. Huh. Yeah, no, not federal. It's the Food and Drug Administration. So they added a warning to gonadotropin.
Oh my gosh, no way is the word gonad.
Gonadotropin.
In this drug
Sure
for
is.
puberty blockers. That is epic.
So if you use gonadotropin releasing hormones, commonly known as puberty blockers, they've indicated there's serious risks for youth who take them. Well, and who else is going to take them other than youth? No, I mean, most of us have gone through puberty once you're an adult. The Food and Drug Administration identified 6 cases in females between the ages of 5 and 12 who are taking GnRH agonists, which presented a plausible association between GnRH agonist use and pseudotumor cerebri.
Okay.
This is a very scientific article. In some cases, pressure inside your skull spontaneously increases, which can cause brain swelling, severe headaches, nausea, double vision, and even permanent vision loss. Wow. So I wonder what that would sound like if Tom Brokaw did that particular news blurb. In some cases, pressure inside your skull simultaneously increases, which can cause brain swelling, severe headaches, nausea, double vision, according to the Mayo Clinic.
Tom, what's the name of the drug? Gonad what?
It's gonadotropin.
Oh, there's no L in it?
Gonadotropin.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. So I guess it has something to do with your gonads.
Right. That's what I'm gathering from that.
That's
we had the breaking news this morning about, they killed the terrorist leader with the drone strike. We missed the opportunity to remind people of another terrorist who was taken out by a drone strike.
Really?
Gadon the American.
Oh, right.
If you'll recall what he sounded like.
I don't remember. Was it something like this?
Let's see here. I don't know.
Something like, wait a minute. Oh, boy.
And it goes a little something like this.
Pull every last one of your soldiers,
spies,
security advisors,
trainers, attachés, and so on,
out
and
of
so forth.
every Muslim land from Afghanistan to Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Should so much as one single American soldier or spy remain on Islamic soil,
and we'll give you such a slap.
Be considered sufficient justification
for our jihad.
For us to continue our defensive jihad.
I appreciate you playing that at my insistence there.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. That's great.
Because you're my trained monkey.
No, I'm not your trained monkey.
Oh.
Actually, so. Democrats becoming a little bit bolder than they have been in their insistence that they don't want Joe Biden to run in 2024.
Have you ever experienced this?
Never seen it before.
During a president's first term, his own party is like,
nope.
Yeah, I want you to sit this next election cycle
We're
out.
just a little over. It's like a year and a half into his first term. And they're like, we don't want this freaking guy. And I can't blame them. But Biden notched a number of legislative wins in the last week or so. Polls continue to indicate the Democratic base is really amenable to another nominee in 2 years.
That's a nice way to say it.
Representative Dean Phillips became the first member of Congress to go on the record and contend that Biden should not run again in 2024. Wow, this guy's in for problems, I would think, in the House. No, Phillips told a Minnesota radio station, the country would be well served by a new generation of compelling, well-prepared, dynamic Democrats who step up.
Gosh.
Yeah, you can't say any of those things about Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden's been there so long in D.C. that he's represented about 3 generations. He's been there half a century come January.
Jeez. Well, wait, I thought he started in 72. Didn't he start in 72?
Well, I know he was elected, so, he got to Washington January 73.
All right, yes.
But
okay.
yeah, still, this election cycle will be 50 years, sure. Just go away.
National attention to Phillips's interview coincided with a Friday poll that found a majority of voters would also prefer that both Biden and Donald Trump not run in 2024. I don't know about that. Specifically, 30% of Democrats held that opinion roughly 100 days before the midterm cycle. 75% of Democrat and Democrat-leaning voters, 75% want the party to nominate somebody else. Wow. And this, this eats him alive. He can't stand it that people don't absolutely love and adore him as much as he loves and adores himself.
Yeah, give it a half hour. He'll forget how they feel.
That's probably true.
But obviously the Republican base would much rather Donald Trump run in 2024 than the Democrats do.
I don't think
of
there's
a sitting
any question.
president.
Mhm.
Sitting president.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Also, in the meantime, Governor Abbott has declared that he's going to keep sending the illegal aliens to Washington, D.C., as he has been. 4,000 plus have shown up in Washington, D.C., and that's why they've tried to call in the National Guard to help them with this humanitarian crisis.
I just love it. I love it so
best.
much.
It is one of the best. It makes up for a lot of the things that he screwed up. It really does.
Yeah, and Abbott right now, if you're listening or someone that can get into his ear, because I'm nervous about Beto, I said this yesterday, you need to be making commercials right now that show Abbott sending busloads to D.C. And you need to show all the illegal aliens there in Washington, D.C. and how Abbott made that happen. In fact, did you see where he invited Bowser from D.C. and Adams from New York to come down to the border? Hey, you want to see where these aliens came from? Right here.
Yeah, I'm guessing that that invitation has been turned down. Oh, we'd love to, but God, we're doing our hair that day. All of us.
Well,
it's weird that you picked that particular day because everybody in the house is doing their hair that day.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's fine because the sentries at the border here in Texas wouldn't let Adams or Bowser in the state anyway. So
I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting here in Texas in the run for governor. It's going to be interesting to see if DeSantis runs, if Trump gets into the race. And Trump was said to be very close to making the announcement, so I wish he'd do that so we know one way or the other. I just want to know.
Yeah.
I just want to know. And then everybody can make their decision afterwards. DeSantis, Pence. I mean, I don't know why Pence would bother, but I think he's going to.
It makes me laugh every time I hear his name mentioned. And
I know.
And then when you say he's in third place, you're like,
you don't have a chance.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's no way. Also, a respected Polish scientific institute has classified domestic cats as an invasive alien species.
That's funny.
I can go along with that.
I bet you could.
I can go along with that. Citing the damage they cause to birds and other wildlife. Some cat lovers have reacted emotionally to this month's decision and put the key scientist behind it on the defensive. Oh, man. If this is the biggest thing they have to worry about in Poland,
right?
I mean, things are pretty good there, I guess.
I want to go to Poland.
Jeez. Meanwhile, Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars, just cut their rookie kicker.
Oh, this is awesome. This would be me if I were a kicker.
Because he was so inept that he comprised a safety hazard, they decided.
It's so great.
Rookie kicker Andrew Mevis wildly missed a number of field goals, including one that nailed a 75-year-old radio personality and former Cowboys coach Dave Campo in the head area. And another that just missed Jaguars team reporter Ashlyn Sullivan. None of them were even standing close to the goalposts, according to Associated Press reporter Mark Long. As of Friday, the reporters were in less danger. Jacksonville severed all ties with Mevis, waving the undrafted free agent on the heels of his really bad training performance.
They cut the rookie.
Man, sad.
That is sad. That would have been entertaining. That would have been worth showing up to Jaguars games for to see that.
Yeah, it would. All right, we got overtime coming up.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.